You see all those ambitious goals you've set, yet you find yourself procrastinating, mindlessly scrolling, and losing track of time. When you finally sit down to work, you get distracted every 5 minutes. Days turn into weeks, then months, and eventually years, and you realize you aren't where you want to be. There's a simple, albeit harsh, reason for this. Inputs equal outputs. If you are consistently putting in low-quality, unfocused effort, you cannot expect to achieve high-level goals. The cycle of procrastination is not a mystery. It is the direct result of your current habits. The first step to breaking this cycle is understanding attention debt. Your capacity for focus is like a battery. It gets depleted, and it requires specific care to recharge. Most people constantly drain their mental energy without ever allowing a recharge, leading to fragmented focus. You might sit at your desk, but you aren't really working. You work for 10 minutes, check your phone, reply to an email, watch a video, and then try to work again. This misalignment between mental effort and physical output is exactly why you cannot focus. You are moving fast mentally, but your physical output is sluggish. This is compounded by mental tabs. Think of your life as a computer with too many applications running in the background. These are the tasks you are avoiding, the bills you haven't paid, the worries you haven't addressed, and the projects you've left incomplete. These open loops consume your mental bandwidth, draining your energy even when you aren't actively thinking about them. To reclaim your focus, you must close these loops. Do the work you have been avoiding. Finish the tasks that have been lingering in the back of your mind. By clearing this clutter, you stop the energy drain before you even start your main work. When you do sit down to begin, you will likely encounter the false start barrier. The first 20 to 30 minutes of any deep work session almost always feel off. You will experience slow thinking, a lack of clarity, and an intense urge to switch tasks or seek distraction. This is a normal part of the process, a phase often called beginner's hell. Most people succumb to this discomfort. They check their messages or open a new browser tab because the friction of starting is too high. However, if you force yourself to push through that initial resistance without changing your environment or tasks, you will eventually enter a flow state. That flow state is the secret to high productivity. 99% of people quit before they ever reach it. To manage this friction, you need to be strategic. One effective method is to adjust your dopamine baseline. Your brain constantly compares the task in front of you to your previous activities. If you have spent 3 hours on social media or watching television, deep work will feel incredibly boring and painful by comparison. The friction is a result of that comparison. Try this. Before you start your deep work session, sit and do absolutely nothing for 15 minutes. Stare at a wall. By doing this, you lower your baseline stimulation, making the work you are about to do seem more engaging and enjoyable than sitting in silence. Furthermore, you must stop treating focus as something that just happens. If you lose focus and suffer no consequences, your brain will continue to treat distraction as a viable option. This creates a negative feedback loop where you start to identify as a person who can't focus. You need to actively teach your brain that discipline is the default. Even after you have reached a flow state, focus will naturally drift over time. It is like a bucket with small holes. It leaks slowly. When you notice your attention wandering, use a focus reset protocol. Stop for 10 seconds, sit perfectly still, and take deep breaths through your belly. Release all the tension in your body, and then immediately return to the task. Ultimately, deep work requires an environment that supports it. Do not keep your phone within reach. If possible, put it in another room. Do not switch tabs. If you are writing, have only the writing application open. If you are researching, have only the necessary resources open. Discipline is not about hacks or clever tricks. It is about building a system. It is about repeating the right actions until they become automatic. You are not at the mercy of your lack of focus. You are simply lacking the proper systems to control it. When you stop looking for shortcuts and start focusing on controlling your inputs, you begin to change your output. Your success will never exceed your level of discipline. Start today, push through the initial resistance, and commit to the process. You are the only one who can build the control necessary to achieve your potential. A bad focus session will always be better than a day of total distraction. Take responsibility for your time, and you will eventually build the focus you need. Have a nice day.